My question is like, so you're obviously like a professional political pundit. You've had years of training, you know, you have all this money worth of resources behind you. You have a PR team, you got security here. So like, why do you as like a professional pundit think it's fair to come to college campuses and debate like college freshmen? Like, doesn't that seem like kind of unfair to you?
Well, hold on. I mean, let's stop talking down to college kids. I'm talking to voters, right? This audience will determine the future of America.
Well, yeah, okay.
And as you could see with my first dialogue, I'm not here to be adversarial. We disagreed. I let him have his points in. And as far as the fair standpoint, I have no notes. You can go bring a professor. Why don't you go bring a professor and bring him up to the mic?
Okay, well, okay.
Why don't you go find 5 professors that have PhDs? I didn't go to college. That's a fair fight, right? By the way, you guys are in college. I graduated high school.
Okay. I mean, like, you come here, you say, this is not adversarial, but, I mean, on the text message you sent out, it says, come to the debate. You have this sign that says, prove me wrong. It seems like you like, want this, like, debate to happen so you can put it on YouTube and upload a clip of you dunking on the libs or whatever, dude. It seems like a grift is what it seems like to me.
Okay, but hold on a second. Don't you agree that more speech, not less speech, is better for a free society?
Sure, I agree with that, yeah. But I would agree that, like, on this basis, it just seems like it's like disparate levels of like resources. You know what I mean? It doesn't seem to me. It seems like kind of disingenuous in you coming here because it seems like you don't really like want to have this debate. You just want to like dunk on people, bro.
Well, let me see. I mean, so you're trying to play into my intentions though. So why am I here? I'm here to support our Turning Point chapter. I'm here to help Tim Sheehy to defeat John Tester, as I said, which there's a lot of support for that. And we're going to have dialogue and disagreement. And yes, I've been doing this for quite a while, but you could also go phone a friend. Go bring 10 libs. You can all have your phones, and you could debate me, and I'll have no notes, and we'll see who wins. In fact, I just debated 25 college kids by myself, and actually went pretty well. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what your point is here. This is a free speech event. You could bring whoever you want. And also, you don't have to come up to the mic.
I was just asking you, dude. Like,
yeah, and that's it. So if there's a point of disagreement, we can do that. But last thing I'll say is this, is don't think so low of college kids. You might, I don't. This audience will determine the future of Western civilization. And this audience might be drafted into a world war. This audience is being used as pawns by people like John Tester and Kamala Harris to put their radical agenda. It's time that we start talking to the next generation, not talking down to the next generation. And that's what we're doing.
Hello, Charlie.
Hello.
My name's Adam. So I want to ask you, what do you think about veganism? Vegetarianism.
I am not a fan of veganism, but you have a right to be vegan, obviously.
So let me clarify.
Yeah.
You on abortion, you support pretty much banning abortion in most situations.
Yes, but humans are not rabbits.
Yes, so
and humans are not deer, and humans are not cows.
Okay, so I want to ask you, do you think it's a little bit hypocritical that you oppose abortion, but you also oppose veganism? Most animals, most adult, like cows, pigs, chickens, they're more intelligent than fetuses and little children, small infants.
I can't believe I have to answer this. Can I answer?
Yeah. So how come you're saying that
Can I
children?
Answer?
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. If you leave a cow for 5 years, will the cow ever be able to talk?
No.
If you leave a fetus for 5 years, will the fetus be able to talk?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure,
so
maybe.
then which one has reason and a soul and can make sense of the natural world, aka an elevated being worthy of protection?
Well, that's
a cow
not,
or a human being?
That's not a good argument. That's like saying mute humans that are born that are without the ability to speak can't have rights.
It's not just about speaking, it's about reason, it's about having a soul, it's about being not an animal. What is a human being to you?
A human being is someone who has personality, and someone who can speak, and if you mean like biologically, like someone of
just give me a definition of, you have a dog and a human being. How do you know which is which?
A human being can walk and talk and yeah.
A dog can walk.
Yeah, but I can't walk and talk. Sure.
Here's the difference: a human being can tell you the difference between right and wrong. An animal can only tell you the difference between pleasure and pain.
Yeah, but animals still suffer like human fetuses do.
But again, the moral worth of a human being is objectively different, because we are able to make moral contentions, not just contentions based on how we feel. Animals can only feel; they cannot reason.
Yeah, but
and therefore we should be treated different morally. Now, from a typical Western religious view, we have souls as human beings, and animals do not. And as a soul, I mean not just in the religious sense, but I also mean that there is a part of you that is not just your 5 senses.
right?
Okay, sure. Well,
So for example, if you think you're only your 5 senses, which one of your 5 senses is telling you that?
I don't know what you mean by 5 senses. You mean my brain?
Well, your 5 senses: sight,
Sight?
smell, taste, feel, hear. 5 senses. So an animal only has 5 senses. It
Yeah,
does
sure.
not have an ability to withdraw itself from its 5th sense, right?
Yeah, but how do you believe that it's okay to kill an animal when it's not okay to kill a child? You defend a child more. Some children die. Some children never make it out of the womb.
Well, because human beings are human. A is A, and human beings are worthy of protection, and animals are not humans, and they're not the moral equivalency, correct?
No, but I don't believe that. I'm not trying to argue that a human is worth more than an animal. I'm saying that even if a human is worth more than an animal, you should give animals respect.
I do
We
give
depend
animals
on-
respect. We should treat them humanely. If you are to eat them, you should kill them in a way that does not have unjust suffering.
What about milk? But animals are all the time. Cows are to produce milk. Yeah, to produce milk, a cow has to be impregnated, and it's not like these farmers are waiting for the animal to get pregnant naturally. They have to be forcibly inseminated, which is a form of.
I actually think it's a great thing that we have dairy.
Okay, but I don't think that that drinking milk in and of itself is bad. But saying that animals can be is okay. That's beyond me.
That you think that cows are being. I got to be honest.
Yes.
I've been doing this for 12 years. I've never heard that before.
Yes, but they are because they're not referred to as being. They're said to be forcibly inseminated. How come that's okay, but keeping a small child is not?
I would not.
Yeah.
Welcome to Boulder.
I don't support anyone.
I don't support human beings. I wouldn't
Yes.
call extracting milk from a cow the same as what
No.
happens if a woman is by some savage.
I'm not talking about extracting milk. I'm talking about when you inseminate a cow to get it pregnant so
Oh,
it
I
can
see.
produce milk.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, not that worried about that. to be
Why
honest.
not? Do you not think their suffering is worth anything?
I think their suffering's fine. Again, they're not human beings, and whatever allows the human being to flourish is what we should be concerned about. And I think it's a good thing that human beings are able to have meat, beef, and dairy. And so
Okay, but
I
the
appreciate
reason we built
your
America
I
and
appreciate
not
your
cows.
exactly. Yeah. How many did the cows build the railroads? Like, I mean.
no, but you still have to treat them with respect. Kids don't build railroads, do they?
Yeah, but they grow
Yeah,
up
but
to
they don't.
adults. Yes, cows hit a plateau. I can't believe I have to explain this. Cows eventually plateau in their ability to reason.
I'm not talking about a plateau in ability. I'm talking about suffering at that moment.
Right,
Is it okay
so-
to, if you know a kid is never going to grow to adulthood, like if you had like a crystal ball or something, is that okay to kill them and rape them then?
Of course not, because it's still a human being with a soul, and a cow is not. But I just want to make sure we are consistent, just so we're consistent. Do you believe that we should limit the unjust suffering of insects?
Well, and I don't believe that. I don't believe in intentionally killing insects either.
So you don't believe that we should spray for mosquitoes even if they're carrying diseases that
Well,
kill
if they're
humans?
threatening me, then it's self-defense.
Oh,
but,
okay, got
but
it.
a cow
So-
didn't do anything.
But
A cow
wait,
is
hold on.
innocent.
But what if the cow is feeding me, a human being?
But you can get nutrients. The World Health Organization has already said that a
okay.
vegan diet is completely healthy for
Yes.
all ages.
We need to get testosterone rates up, not down. And you do that by eating meat and not eating soybeans.
No, but you can get all of your protein. You can get nutrients all from a plant-based diet. Yes, you can. Look it up.
Let me just say one final thing. Do you consider yourself a liberal or?
I can. Well, it depends on the issue, but like say abortion, like I'd say I'm moderate.
Okay, so
because
you,
I
but you
believe
believe in
pro-life.
human choice.
Yeah, well, generally, like I don't believe in my body, my choice. Generally speaking,
Okay.
but it depends.
Okay, can I have
Depends on each individual
Can I have
issue.
the right to eat a steak?
You have the right to eat a steak. No, because that involves the suffering of an animal, of an innocent life.
And the American left wonders why they're losing young men. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
No, but okay.
Thank you. That was really something, guys, wasn't it? Keep steak legal will be my new T-shirt, right? Right, Mitchell? Is that something else? Let's talk about the border. We have brought in 5% of the population of Haiti.
I don't see the issue with that though. Like as
You don't see the issue with that?
allowing immigrants into our country. I mean, is that not the foundation
these
of
are
America?
these are illegal immigrants
yeah,
that
people
cut in
seeking
line.
refuge for the best country in the world. Isn't that the whole point of your like organization?
Well-
the U.S. is the best country in the world. Shouldn't we be obligated to like help people that are suffering?
Yes, America is the best country. Therefore, its citizens should come first, not foreigners. So we have an
should make the
obligation
path-
to our own
so the
people.
path- yeah, so the path that a citizenship should become easier. Then.
No, we should deport them all back to their
We should
homeland.
deport them all back to their
all
homeland.
back to their homeland.
All the immigrants. Okay.
Well,
we shouldn't
all
make
the
it easier
illegal
for
foreigners, yes.
Okay.
In Springfield, Ohio, in one town, English as a second language speakers in one high school went from 250 to 1,500 kids in 2 years. These communities are being overrun. Go down to Aurora, Colorado, right down the street here. Entire apartment complexes are now being run by Venezuelan gangs. Not to mention every day an American citizen is being killed. From Laken Riley to Rachel Morin to 11-year-olds that are being killed in DUI accidents. We have a belief that our founding fathers had, which is if your government does not fulfill its obligation to its own people first, its government is not legitimate. And that's what's happening right now. Our government is now providing taxpayer-funded cell phones, hotel rooms, benefits, airplane rides, cash for foreigners, but not for Americans. If you guys as an American citizen want a free cell phone, they'll laugh at you. As a foreigner from Venezuelan, you get one on the southern border. You get a flight to any city that you want. You get a luxury hotel in New York City. You get taxpayer-funded health care. That is the inversion. That is elevating somebody from a distant land over our own people. When our own kids can't afford homes, when our own people are seeing an increase in crime, homelessness, and we have over 50,000 homeless vets in this country. It's a breakdown of the social contract.
Wait, so the government should support veterans, support
Yes.
citizens more. We should do, so we should spend more on our people
No,
with
no,
like
no.
better health care,
Well,
better
hold on,
social
hold on a
programs.
second.
That's literally what you just said.
We should spend it on veterans and not on foreigners.
Sure, and American
Yes.
citizens with like cheaper health care. That's what you just said.
Well, hold on. You're
Free
trying to,
phones, airplane rides, public transit.
I
That
don't
sounds
support-
great for Americans.
No, it sounds terrible, actually.
For Americans?
Yes, government should not be giving free phones to anybody, okay?
You said
Because-
that the citizens should come first in those programs.
Yes,
first.
you know how they should come first? By not
On
having to
nothing.
compete against a foreigner for your job.
But I don't think that's the case though. When most like
How about this? If your own perspective was correct, would you feel comfortable going in a Uber right now to Aurora, Colorado, and going to those 3 apartment complexes?
I mean, according to the Aurora police, I probably would. They say the apartments complexes are not overrun.
You should get in the car and go, go talk to anybody here and go knock on the door, and they'll extort you for cash because we're a country that is open for looting right now. For the entire world, over 118 countries have entered the southern border. That we know of, at least 99 people on the terrorist watch list have come across the southern border. We're talking about people from Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, from Iran, people from Pakistan that are coming here and mean harm to the interior of the United States. Not to mention, we're breaking down what it means to be a citizen. A citizen should be put first above anybody else. If a government does not do that, then the government is not fulfilling its basic obligation. And the number one obligation is to make sure that its people can have a pathway to a better life and a good life. Not a variety of free stuff, but not have to compete with somebody from Brazil for a home. Not have
Sure.
not sure. The way that we're not doing that is that we're importing the third world and we're quickly becoming the third world.
So why don't we use our resources to improve the third world so they're not coming here rather than
Because
just spending
that's
the
not
same
the
amount
role
money?
of the American government. You think we should be concerned about Central American politics? I don't care. I care about our own people.
So then you
Secure
don't
the border
care about
and-
those people that are sex
Hold on.
trafficking
You know why?
children.
Hold on. Of course I care about it.
You say you don't want to spend the money to make that change happen.
Number one, we've spent trillions, hundreds of billions of dollars. It doesn't do any good. Number
That's
two,
not true.
Number two, it is not the role of the American government to solve the problems of Panama, El Salvador, and Honduras when our own citizens are suffering and are crying out for help.
So why has the billions of dollars spent on Central American aid over the last 4 years
We shouldn't
been
have
effective
spent-
at slowing the
hasn't-
rates of sex trafficking in Central America?
It hasn't slowed anything.
No, it's been affected.
It hasn't affected anything.
It
What you're
literally
talking about
has.
is bribing these governments where they then go give it to cartel leaders and say, hey, this month send 20,000 people instead of 40,000
That's
people.
not what that money's going towards. It's
Yeah.
going towards NGOs and
No,
bottom-up
if-
stabilization.
You think NGOs
No.
spend the money correctly?
Okay, not
Man,
all
you are
NGOs,
so
obviously,
naive.
sure.
By the way, more people are crossing the Darien Gap than ever before. Not to mention, they're coming across on the CBP One app across the border into the interior of the United States in every single state. You cannot continue to have a country if you import an unfamiliar third world this quickly into America.
So
now
there
you'll
should
say,
be a path to
no,
immigration.
No, we should have no
and-
immigrants in this country right now.
No immigrants in
None.
the country.
We need a total, complete shutdown of immigration in this country until every single Gen Z person can afford a home and can get their act together and be able to afford the
So
American
what's
dream.
your path to Gen Z getting homes? Is it just kicking all
Well,
brown people out?
Not brown people. I think
Okay,
we should.
immigrants. Yeah.
We should. Anyone that's here illegally should be deported back to their country of homeland. By the way, it's a moral
So
position.
H-1B visas that like generate and
We
stimulate
should-
the economy, kick those out.
Well, it's interesting. H-1B. Who here studying computer? Anything? Anybody? Computer engineering? You guys have to compete against a foreigner for a job. That's wrong. American. Well, I actually care about the country more than the free market.
So colleges should better prepare students and better utilize government resources.
Well, college is a scam, but yes, we did that earlier.
For computer science, they shouldn't go to college.
Well, actually, you don't need to go to college for computer science.
You don't need to go to college for computer science?
You could do a coding class in a couple months.
You could do a coding class.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alphabet is hiring right now.
You could get a job at Alphabet, Google, for taking a C++ class?
Correct. Yes.
Yes.
They're hiring coders after a 60-day coding class. To answer your question, a country that ceases to secure its own sovereignty and does not think I care more about my own people than the foreigners ceases to be a country. You're a colony and you're something else. And we are seeing our generosity be taken advantage of. I am all for American charities going down to Panama and helping out. I'm all for people giving to charity.
So we should reallocate U.S. spending towards things that are actually effective for people in and outside of our borders.
Well,
so then we don't have people coming into our borders, and then we can help our people.
Well, no, again, if they come to the border and the border is closed and you say, hasta la vista, go back to Nicaragua.
Or we spend in Central America, they don't have to come to the U.S., and then we have a better U.S. It's the same amount of spending.
No, first of all, to solve the problems of the third world would cost trillions of dollars, and that would all be laundered and not even work. And again, it's not the position of the American government to go throw money around in the Southern Triangle. Instead, it's our country's closed. We're not open for looting anymore. Go make Nicaragua great again, or go do what El Salvador has done. El Salvador is now a safe and stable country, and they're seeing their GDP go up, and it's not because of us.
Yeah, it is. We put $4 billion into South Central America.
Hold on, and Bukele barely took the money. You know why it's safe? Bukele has turned El Salvador safe because he locked up all the criminals. He locked up 40,000 criminals and put them in prisons, and El Salvador is now safer than America. El Salvador was the murder capital of the world, and now El Salvador is much safer than America. I think it's wrong if you guys are afraid to walk the streets of Denver at night. I wouldn't walk the streets of Denver at night. Would you guys? No! That's a breakdown of the fundamental role of government. Would you guys walk the streets of LA at night? No. The streets of San Francisco? No. We can't walk our own greatest cities at night, and we want to bring in more people from the third world? Hell no.
So I just had a question, because you talk a lot about protecting and securing our southern borders. But as the granddaughter of immigrants, I think that we get into a lot of complicated disputes with the idea that immigrants are criminals, are drug dealers, and things like that. So I just want to hear what your opinion is on those expectations or those, those stereotypes that are put on Hispanic communities, Latino communities, and how they change the way people perceive immigration.
Sure. So, thank you for the question. So you said you're the first generation student or first generation American?
I'm a first generation student.
Cool, great. Second generation American? Did I hear that right?
Third generation American on my mom's side.
Great.
Second on my dad's.
When your grandparents then, is that right, came to this country, did they do so through the legal process that was in front of them?
So my father got married to my mother. So he's a legal resident of the United States. She's been here her entire life.
But did she enter legally?
She did. She's born here. Yeah.
Got it.
My grandpa on my dad's side entered in illegally.
Okay. So I'm not here to insult your grandpa, right? But we must be very clear that the type of immigration that we support is when you follow our rules and you come on our terms, and that you do not break into a country uninvited and you try to cut.
Can I add something to that? The reason why he left, and a lot of people in Mexico do, is because of the political state, especially in the 70s and 80s, when they decided to move. They have a government that isn't supportive of their constituents, and because of drug problems, their only choice was to move.
Yeah, I totally sympathize. That's not true. It's never the only choice to commit a crime, and we should not put up with it. And so it is an insult to other immigrants from Vietnam and Laos and Pakistan that have to wait decades in line to morally equivalate people that come in and just break in. Oh, I have an unstable country. Like half of the world's countries are unstable. So look, we just have to be very clear with this, is that if you come into the country uninvited, you have committed a crime and you are a criminal. And we could decide that we're not going to enforce our laws, or we can say that when you are a criminal, you should then be punished for that crime, aka sent back to your country of origin, because you were not invited. And it is an insult, again, to the Poles and to the Czechoslovakians and from the Senegalese and people all across the world that don't have the proximity or the luxury just to waltz into America.
You call it a luxury to leave a country that has political tyranny and come into a country with opportunity?
Yes, to live in Mexico, to be able to go 100 miles north and break into America. Do you know how many people in Pakistan would kill to be on that border?
That's why we bring them in.
Well, we shouldn't, right? That's the point. And secondly, do you think that you have a right to immigrate to America?
I think that I didn't have a choice. My grandparents made that decision for me.
And I'm not trying to attack your grandparents, but no one has a right to go to anybody else's country. You are invited. It is a privilege, not a right, to come into America.
So it's a privilege to live a life that requires you to have clean water, clean food, clean air.
Yes, of course it is.
And you have to fight for that?
Yes, it is not.
But we didn't?
Hold on a sec. Well,
born here, we didn't fight for that?
Well, my ancestors did fight for that, actually, and I'm a very thankful recipient of many generations of Americans that fought for the greatest nation ever to exist.
By doing what? Coming here?
Well,
illegally?
Wait, what did my ancestors do?
They came here illegally.
They came over here in 1620, fought in the Revolutionary War, fought in the Civil War, fought in World War I.
So because my grandpa didn't come here in
II.
1620, it gives him no right to have a good life?
He can fill out paperwork and wait in line like the rest of the world. And then we can see whether or not it's in our best interest to allow him to come in. And so we have to weigh costs and benefits. Do you think that the American government should first have an obligation to citizens before foreigners?
Okay, I think we have an
answer
obligation.
the question. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Yeah, we're obligated because we're citizens to have the rights that we have, but that doesn't mean we can't open up our borders
that's not
when
the
we
question.
have the process
Hold on a second.
to do so.
You, being a younger American, and everyone in the audience, is the first generation in American history to have it be worse off than your parents. So the social, and you agree with that, social contract, poorer, more expensive. Yeah. So wouldn't it be rational for the American government to say, we're going to prioritize younger generation Americans that are American passport holders and citizens before those in another nation?
I don't want to say anything that offends people. But
go
I've already
ahead.
said it, right? I've already said it. Whatever. I think that the way we're going about it is wrong. And that if we don't have a clear path to citizenship, we won't open up those opportunities for people to come and seek a good life. But I also think that, we are required to have those rights ourselves.
Seeking a
as
good
American
life
citizens.
is fine. It's a nice added benefit. Our government does not exist to improve the life of foreign citizens.
But we should be open to the idea of accepting that.
Of course we are, if we have our own house in order. We are in chaos right now. We have the most depressed, suicidal, anxious generation in history. Our birth rate is collapsing. Kids can't afford homes. Yeah. You guys are drowning in debt. You have to compete you have to compete for jobs against foreigners. Our country is a mess right now. And so when your country's a mess and your home is in disarray and bedlam, your own government should say, time out. I have a heart for the people of Haiti. I have a heart for the people of every country. But you're not coming here until this generation at least has it as good as their parents. And that is a very simple moral statement. If when you bring people in, they make the life worse for the people that were already here, should we stop letting those people in?
Do they, though?
Yes, they do. Illegals every day are doing DUIs and kids are dying across the country.
But if Americans are doing this, it's fine?
Well, it's not fine. They should go to jail. But this is the red herring, is that Americans are invited guests. Foreigners are people that broke into the country that shouldn't be here, and none of those crimes should be happening at all. One of them is a crime of choice. The other is just a crime because that's part of what happens when you have a society. So when you have Americans that are murdered by illegals, that is because we have decided and chosen we're okay with them being here, and if they kill our people, no big deal.
I'm just trying to... I know we're not going to agree on
this.
It's fine. That's why I came up here in the first place. I knew
Are you okay with deporting every illegal person that's here?
No.
Why?
Because there's some people here that are not represented well by the media. There's a lot of illegal immigrants here that are working their butts off for the life that they want.
I don't care if they're working hard. But the point is, what should the punishment be for breaking into a country?
Depends on the crime you commit after you break into it.
Okay. That's it. I'm talking about just the crime is breaking in. What should the punishment be? I break into somebody's home. What should their punishment be?
Can you repeat that?
Oh, so if you behave after you get here, that's fine. So to play that out, if someone comes into your dorm room uninvited and they do the dishes and laundry, they can stay?
If I'm not going to do my own dishes, heck yeah. They're doing my dishes for me? Cool. If they don't kill me, I'm not dead. It is what it is, man.
Well, they are killing a lot of Americans, but
You say they. Like they are?
Yes,
like
they.
All illegal immigrants kill people? That's crazy.
Many illegals do, actually. No, but it's just interesting. The punishment for the crime of breaking into a nation should be what it is in Switzerland and Israel and Hungary. Every person who breaks into a nation uninvited goes back to their country of origin, period.
So why
End
is
of
there an
story.
emphasis on the southern border?
Because most people come illegally through the southern border.
The point I'm trying to make is that we categorize all illegal immigrants under the same thing: sex traffickers,
No, I'm
drug
not.
dealers.
Am I
and
doing
by
that?
you saying all illegal immigrants
No,
have
no.
to be deported,
Yes.
you're implying that all
I'm
of
not
them
implying
are
anything.
doing these
I'm being
terrible things,
super
and not a
clear.
small percentage of them.
If you come into a country uninvited, definitionally you are a criminal.
We're just not going to agree.
It's fine. Then
That's
final
okay.
question. What is a criminal?
What is a criminal?
No. What is it? Would you agree with the definition that a criminal is someone who breaks the law?
Here's where I'm thinking. Here's the thing. I know how he's going to turn it, and I don't fully agree.
It's not a matter of turning it. It's a very ABC sequence. If they're not criminals, then tell me what a criminal is. And a criminal is obviously someone who breaks the law. Someone who comes across the southern border broke federal law, therefore they are a criminal.
Okay, then we can just disagree.
There's a reason that a lot of the black community doesn't have a father, and it's because of systemic racism. It's because like black men are more likely to be in prison
Oh yeah, so why do people go to prison?
for like a lot of the time it's because they're in poverty and they have no other way.
In poverty, we should give excuses for committing crime?
Yes, like if someone is stealing something because they have no money and there's
so
no
that's
jobs.
so interesting. So you think most crimes are crimes of necessity in the black community?
I'm not saying most.
Something happened to black America since 1965.
You mean the war on drugs?
If that's your contention, that's fine. So in order to go to jail for the war on drugs, you have to be dealing drugs, right? Or you have to be caught with drugs. So if you don't
Which is one of like the main jobs that you can have in a like poverty-stricken. Like if there's no jobs, like you're going to do drugs. I mean, you're gonna trade drugs because that's the only option
It's
you
such
have.
a difference in worldview. I don't like making excuses for people that do things that are obviously destructive. Secondly, we have a problem in black America. The biggest problem is not racism, it's the lack of dads. If dads are around, kids flourish.
Systemic racism creates family problems. If you take away black people from their families, then they're going to have
Right.
broken families.
Okay, but that's interesting. How are you taking them away? Aren't they leaving? If you stay single as a single mother, you get money from the federal government, and it's basically subsidized, if you will.
Sure.
Can we at least agree that if the nuclear family in black America was stronger and tighter knit, that would be a good thing?
In a lot of cases, yeah.